Welcome to English Story 2 Day. Don't forget like and subscribe.
My name is Anna. I am 34 years old. I live in a small town called Maple Hill. It is a quiet town with friendly people, big trees, and small houses. I live in one of those houses, painted yellow with white windows and a garden full of roses. I am married to a man named Ethan. He is a gentle man with warm eyes and a kind smile. We have been married for 11 years now. Ethan thinks I am a simple woman with a simple life. And I am. I work in the town library. I help people find books. I read stories to children every Friday afternoon. I love my work. The smell of old books makes me feel calm. The laughter of children makes me feel alive. Ethan thinks I grew up in a small village far away. He thinks my family lives there still, living simple lives like me. He thinks my name has always been Anna. But Ethan does not know everything about me. There is a part of my life I have never told him. A big secret that lives deep inside me like a locked box. Every day, when Ethan looks at me with his kind eyes, I feel happy. But deep inside, there is also a small pain, a small fear. I tell myself every day that my secret is safe, that it will never come out. But some nights when I cannot sleep, I see my old life in my dreams, and then I wake up shaking, hoping Ethan will never know who I really was. Before Ethan, I was not Anna. I did not live in Maple Hill. I lived in a huge, busy city called Westport. The city was fast and cold. The people were always in a hurry. Nobody smiled. Nobody cared. I did not work in a quiet library. Back then, my name was not Anna. It was Mia. Mia had no peaceful house, no garden of roses, no kind husband. Mia was alone in that city. She had no family. She had no friends she could trust. She worked for a man named Mr. Crane. Mr. Crane was not like Ethan. Mr. Crane was cold. He wore dark suits and shiny shoes. His eyes were sharp like knives. He never shouted, but his quiet voice was scarier than shouting. I did things for him. I carried boxes. I made calls. I went to places at night when I should have been sleeping. I never asked questions. I needed the money. I was young and alone. Every night I told myself it was just work, just small errands. But my heart knew it was wrong. I felt like a shadow moving through the city. One night, after 3 years of being Mia, I could not do it anymore. I had saved some money. Not much. Just enough to buy a bus ticket and rent a small room somewhere far. I packed my clothes in one bag and I ran away. I changed my name to Anna. I found Maple Hill on a map. It sounded peaceful. It sounded safe. I got a job at the library. People liked me. They did not know who I really was. Then I met Ethan. He was fixing a broken fence outside the library. He was good with his hands. He made things out of old wood. A birdhouse, a new bench for the park. He smiled at me. His smile was warm like sunshine. I felt safe. We fell in love slowly. He asked me about my family. I told him stories that were not true. I made up a small farm, kind parents, a big brother who lived abroad. He believed me. Why would he not? I looked honest. I wanted to be that honest person so much. And for many years I was. But the past does not stay buried forever. One evening, I was putting books back on the shelf when my phone rang. I saw the number. It was hidden. I never answered hidden numbers, but that day I did. "Hello?" I said softly. At first, there was silence. Then I heard a voice I thought I would never hear again. A cold, smooth voice that sent shivers down my back. "Hello, Mia." I froze. Nobody in Maple Hill knew that name. I held the phone so tight my hand hurt. "Who is this?" I whispered, though I already knew. "You know who this is," the voice said. "It's Mr. Crane." My heart stopped. I could hear my own breathing. "How did you find me?" I asked. He laughed. It was not a kind laugh. It was sharp like broken glass. "It does not matter. What matters is you owe me a favor." "I don't owe you anything," I said. I looked around. The library was empty. The windows were dark. I felt alone again. "Oh, but you do," Mr. Crane said. "One last job, Mia. Or should I say Anna? Nice name, nice town, nice husband. Does he know about me? About you?" My chest hurt. My legs felt weak. "Please, leave me alone," I said. "One job, Mia. One small job. Or your sweet Ethan will learn everything about little Mia from the city." He hung up. I stood in the quiet library, shaking. I felt sick. I was trapped. At dinner that night, Ethan talked about building a new bookshelf for the library. I nodded and smiled. But inside I was screaming. I wanted to tell him, but the words were stuck in my throat. I was so scared to lose him. The next morning, I packed a small bag. I told Ethan I needed to visit my mother in a village 2 towns away. He believed me. He kissed my forehead and told me to be careful. I felt like a thief in my own home. I took the train to Westford, a city not as big as Westport but busy enough to hide in. I met a man near the train station. He gave me a small package. "Take this to a hotel," he said. "Room 207. Knock 3 times. Leave the box. Walk away." It sounded simple, but inside I was dying. I felt Mia's fear again. I felt like I was drowning in my old life. I held the package all the way to the hotel. My hands were shaking. When I stood in front of room 207, I could not knock. I saw Ethan's face in my mind, his warm eyes, his trust. I could not do it. If I gave them this box, they would own me forever. Next time, they would ask for more and more. So I ran. I sat in a small coffee shop and called Ethan. My hands were shaking so much. I almost dropped my phone. He answered on the first ring. "Anna, are you okay?" His voice was so warm. I burst into tears. "Ethan, I lied to you," I said. "My name is not Anna, it's Mia. I did bad things. I ran away. I'm so sorry." He did not hang up. He did not shout. He just said, "Where are you?" An hour later, He was there. He walked into the cafe and looked at me like I was not broken, like I was still me. He sat down, held my hands and said, "Tell me everything." So I did. I told him about Mr. Crane, about the packages, about Mia, about my fear. When I was done, I looked at him, ready for him to stand up and leave. But he did not. He squeezed my hand. "We'll handle this together," he said. "You are not alone." When my phone rang again, Ethan answered. Mr. Crane's voice was cold and sharp, but Ethan did not shake. "Stay away from my wife," he said calmly. "If you call again, we will go to the police." I thought Mr. Crane would laugh, but he did not. He hung up. We took the package to the police that night. I told them everything. I cried. I felt shame, but I felt free too. We went home together. We sat in our garden under the stars. Ethan held my hand. "No more lies," he said. "No more lies," I promised. The next week, I told the head librarian my real name and my story. I was so scared she would fire me. But she just smiled kindly and said, "You are a good person now, Anna, or Mia, or whoever you choose to be. You belong here." Life is not perfect. Sometimes I still feel afraid. But I am not alone. I do not carry the heavy secret anymore. Ethan knows all of me and loves me still. My name is Anna. Once I was Mia. My past is a dark road behind me, but my present is light and love and truth. I am free. I am loved.